2 questions to ask her before you marry her, before you walk down the aisle with her, before you invest the rest of your life with her. Okay? Before you give up the rest of the women of the world to be with just her. Here are 2 very important questions that you want to ask the woman that you are about to marry. Okay? So, first question is, you're gonna have to ask her, you want to find this out, obviously, while you're dating her, before you start dating her. How many dudes have you slept with? Okay? This is an extremely important question for obvious reasons, and we're going to get into it in a second. Second question you want to ask her is, have you ever cheated on any of your boyfriends? Okay? These are the only 2 questions you need to ask. Okay? And the sooner you find this out, the better off you'll be. Okay? And obviously there are a whole lot more questions you can ask her, but one thing you'll find is when you get the right answers to these 2 questions, for example, when you ask her, how many guys have you slept with? And it's in the single digits, right? Preferably 0. And if you ask her if she's ever cheated on a boyfriend and the answer is no, right? Assuming she's honest, assuming she's being honest, right? And there are plenty of women out there who will be honest, by the way. Plenty of women who will lie, but there are women out there who will be honest. I've met plenty of them, right? Had no reason to lie, really good girls, and unsurprisingly, they all ended up getting married, right? And they're still married to this day. So I'm not even surprised. But one thing you'll find is when you get the right answer to these 2 questions, right? Single digits, how many guys have you slept with? Single digits. And have you cheated on any boyfriends? No. All the other ducks will line up, right? I mean, all the other planets will align in order, right? So, for example, if the girl goes, I slept with one guy, my high school boyfriend, or, and we dated until college. We were together for a long time. It didn't work out. So just him. And of course, I've never cheated on anybody, right? I mean, obviously, already she's in the 1 percentile or less than 1 percentile of women out there who hasn't slept around and hasn't cheated on any boyfriends. So when you hear an answer like that, 99.9% of the time you're dealing with a girl who doesn't go clubbing. She's not for the streets. She's not constantly, disappearing with her girlfriends after work, doing a little happy hour, or, running off to these girls' trips, without her man. She generally also has a great relationship with her family. Her parents were likely stayed married. She was raised properly. She respects men, loves men. I mean, just all the lights are green, right? However, the higher this number goes up, like how many guys you slept with? Like 23 or something like that by the time I was, like 22. The higher that number goes up, and the more often she's cheated on ex-boyfriends for whatever reason, the more likelihood you're dealing with somebody who has a terrible relationship with her family, doesn't respect her father, doesn't stay home, goes clubbing a lot, will disappear on you, will just bring all sorts of havoc into your life. That's why I say these 2 questions are very, very important, and they really just tell you a whole lot about that person. And obviously too, a woman who hasn't slept around, a woman who doesn't cheat on her boyfriends, I found that those women tend to have their crap together, right? They're not constantly in debt. They have good credit scores. They're not behind on their car payments or anything like that. They have a little bit of a savings. They're good with money, which means they're not going to just, expect you to pay for everything. They're also very fair. I've noticed that. They're very fair when it comes to, paying for stuff. They won't feel good about you constantly treating them, and they're not doing anything for you. They're not selfish, right? They're pretty giving. Again, they're just good. They make good wife material, right? And I've had girlfriends like this in the past, right? Few and far between, unfortunately. But I have had girlfriends in this like this in the past. I just wasn't ready to settle down, and I mean they got married to the very next guy after me. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Each and every single one of them married the very next guy after me. Uh, so yeah, and then when it comes to women who do sleep around and who do cheat on their boyfriends, obviously you're going to be dealing with somebody who usually has a pretty bad credit score, doesn't have any savings in the bank, spends money like a drunken sailor, which means she's going to be spending your money like a drunken sailor, isn't going to appreciate anything you bring to the table or value anything good about you. I mean, these are just what we classically call here on the 33 Secrets, the DG, right? Damaged women. Right? So that is what you are going to be dealing with if you get involved with somebody who has slept around and has cheated on multiple boyfriends in the past, right? And these girls, because I know a lot of you guys are thinking like, how do you know if they're lying or not? One thing I've noticed is I can tell when they're lying is when there's a discrepancy. When she says something like, oh, I've slept with, this many guys. Usually the number is over 10, right? So that's another thing. If she says, I've slept with more than 10 guys, sorry, man, all bets are off, right? Because as you know, and I cover this here on my channel, that women who have slept with more than 10 guys, and there were studies done on this, is 33% more likely, if you marry her, to end up in divorce, right? 33% more likely. I mean, imagine, those odds at the craps table. You would not want to play, right? But here you are playing with your life, your savings. I mean, with this chick who clearly sleeps around. So when she says she slept with more than 10 guys, but I've never cheated on any boyfriends, there's a discrepancy there. That's what I have to, you have to ask, like, are you sure about this? And I mean, everyone's different, so you just kind of have to feel her out to see how honest she's being and how dishonest she's being. But usually when there's that type of discrepancy where I've slept with like 35 guys, never cheated on a single boyfriend, something's wrong here, right? Something's off. No, something is not, the numbers are not adding up. So you have to ask yourself, right? So, yeah. And many guys have completely just, not vetted their partner correctly, and then they marry the wrong person, they end up in divorce court, and the woman takes, half their stuff, takes the house, takes the kids, takes the family dog, this guy's left with nothing. And I don't want that to happen to you, right? So these are the two questions you want to ask her before you marry her, right? And really even before you get seriously involved with her in the first place, so you don't get attached. These are just things that you need to find out, right? Don't just be in a hurry to, jump at the opportunity to date her because she's good looking, right? Or she's hot. Plenty of hot women out there, guys, right? There are plenty out there. You got to get out of this scarcity mindset, and you got to get into an abundance mindset. How do you get an abundance mindset? You got to go out more, right? That's really the key to, pickup artistry, which is what I teach. The key is just going out, right? I mean, this is probably the number one most basic, dumbest, most simple thing you can do to start meeting more women and really to build more of a social circle, right? To start meeting more friends and, adding more like spice to your life, right? You need to go out, man. Don't just trap yourself indoors. You need to go out. I mean, I'm a busy guy. A lot of times I don't feel like going out. I force myself to go out. I make time to go out because I know, like, once I sink into my comfort zone and I'm constantly at home and I'm locked myself indoors, it gets very difficult to get out of that. So you have to go out, guys. However, not to get off track here, these are the two questions that you want to ask a girl before you marry her, before you get involved with her, before you commit to her, right? And you can ignore it at your own peril, but just remember what I tell you. And I'm You know, I'm somebody, I've been doing this for a long time, so you can trust me when I tell you. But as always, gentlemen, drop your comments below. Let me know if you have any questions about tonight's coaching video, anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to share. How do you like this matrix share here? I think it's pretty cool. I kind of feel like the Morpheus vibe coming out of me, right? I want to hold out my hand and go, what would you like to take, Neo? The red pill or the blue pill? Choose. Right? So take the blue pill, stay in Wonderland. Take the red pill, and I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. As always, gentlemen, drop the comments below, and I'll see you in my next coaching video. I'm out.
Until next time, this is Matt Cross from Alpha Male Secrets, signing out here with my DeLorean as usual. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on my YouTube channel. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe. Helps me out a ton when you subscribe, so please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And for you guys who want to support